Dragons. They are the ultimate monster of myth, the apex predator of imagination. If cryptids are the underdogs of mystery, then dragons are the heavyweight champions. But here's the thing, every culture in the world has a dragon story. Not a few, not just one, but everywhere. From China to Scotland, from the jungles of Africa to the deserts of the Middle East, legends of giant, winged, fire-breathing reptiles have burned their way into our history. But why? Tonight we are diving deep. Could dragons have really existed? Did ancient people encounter something more than fossils? And even more chilling, could dragons still be hiding in our world today? Grab your lanterns because this rabbit hole is full of smoke and scales.
Fear tingles down your spine and hairs stand on end. Mysteries unknown and tales in the dark. Are you ready? Hello?
Now let's start at the beginning. China, the land of the imperial dragon. Unlike the fearsome treasure-hoarding beasts of Europe, Chinese dragons are symbols of wisdom, luck, and power. Emperors trace their lineage to dragons, claiming divine right through them. Festivals still celebrate them, statues honor them, and for thousands of years, the dragon was not just a myth. It was a cultural backbone. Meanwhile, across the ocean, Norse sagas told of Fafnir, a cursed man turned into a dragon, greedy, venomous, and nearly invincible. Medieval Europe wasn't so kind to their dragons. These were beasts of chaos, embodiments of Satan, often slain by noble knights and saints of shining armor. In South America, the Aztecs worship Quetzalcoatl. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong. The feathered serpent god of wind and wisdom. Unlike the greedy European monsters, he was a bringer of knowledge. But stop and think, how did people with no contact all invent the same creature? Giant reptiles, scales, wings, sometimes breathing fire. Coincidence or a collective memory of something real? Scholars often wave off dragons as simple mistakes. Early people found dinosaur bones and said, "Ah, yes, terrifying monster. Makes sense, right?" But let's not forget, the bones don't breathe fire. The fossils don't swoop down from the sky, and the legends aren't about long dead creatures. They're about living, hunting, dangerous ones. Herodotus, the ancient Greek historian, claimed Egyptian priests showed him preserved remains of winged serpents in the desert. The Roman naturalist Pliny the Elder wrote about giant serpents in India that strangled elephants. These weren't stories about fossils. These were encounters. Now, fast forward through history and people kept seeing dragons. In the 1500s, a Swiss naturalist named Conrad Gessner cataloged a dragon in his zoological works. He wasn't joking. He treated it as a real animal. In 1572, villagers of Bologna, Italy, swore a small dragon slithered out of a cave and into their farmland. They killed it, preserved the body, and scholars studied it. In England, stories of the worm of Lambton described a dragon-like beast wrapped around a river, devouring livestock, growing larger by the day. And then there's the modern reports. In Congo in the 1930s and 40s, missionaries, explorers whispered of the Kongamato, a winged beast resembling a petrosaur, The locals featured it, describing it as a dragon that attacked canoes at night. China, 1944, a U.S. pilot allegedly shot down a massive winged reptile during World War II. Some claim the body was taken for study and never seen again. Surprise, surprise. Texas, 1976, a spate of dragon-like flying reptile sightings shook the Rio Grande Valley. Witnesses swore it had leathery wings, a long tail, and glowing red eyes. Are these dragons surviving dinosaurs, or just a human tendency to see monsters in the shadows? Let's play scientist for a minute. Could a dragon actually work biologically? I mean, first off, wings. For a reptile the size of a housefly, it would need massive bird-like bone structure, light but strong. Petrosaurs pulled this off, so it's not impossible. Now the fire-breathing question, how could that even work? Well, bombardier beetles already create chemical explosions in their bodies, firing boiling liquid as a defense. Electric eels generate enough voltage to stun predators. Even the humble skunk sprays chemicals strong enough to blind an attacker. So imagine a reptile with gas-producing organs in its throat. One spark, one chemical reaction, and suddenly the idea of a fire-breathing dragon isn't fantasy, it's chemistry. One of the most strangest dragon tropes, though, is their obsession with hoarding gold. Why? Some psychologists say it's symbolic. Dragons represent human greed. Others argue maybe it has roots in reality. Could dragons have been attracted to shiny objects the way crows are today? Did people stash their treasures in caves only to lose them to giant predators that claim the caves as their own? Or was it just a metaphor? After all, what greater monster is there than greed itself? And here's the spicy take. What if dragons didn't go extinct, but were hunted into hiding? Ancient humans feared them, fought them, told stories of slaying them. Over centuries, the population dwindled. Some conspiracy theories even suggest governments know about dragons, or even dragon-like creatures, and keep it quiet. Sounds wild, but remember, the giant squid was dismissed as legend for centuries until one washed ashore. So maybe one day a dragon corpse or a living one will be dragged out of the shadows. Until then, all we have is stories. Now let's take a world tour of dragon myths. Japan, the dragon god of the seas, said to live in a crystal palace beneath the waves. In India, the Naga, serpent beings that dwelled underground, guarding treasures and wisdom. Scotland, Loch Ness Monster is often theorized as a dragon-type creature, a water worm. Wales, the red dragon, is the national symbol tied to prophecy and kingship. Africa, a winged serpent is said to live in the waterfalls, causing storms when it flies. It seems like no matter where you go, the dragon is lurking, woven into folklore like smoke in the wind. And let's not kid ourselves, dragons the size of skyscrapers probably aren't hiding in the woods, but smaller, reclusive species? Possible. I mean, think about it. We still discover new species every year, including massive animals like whales, sharks, and even giant lizards. Whole ecosystems remain unexplored. Jungles, caves, and especially the deep ocean. Who's to say there isn't something dragon-like still lurking in places we haven't dared to look? So are dragons real? Were they ever real? Or are they the perfect marriage of fossil, fear, and imagination? Now here's my take. Myths don't cling to us for a millennia without a reason. Whether dragons live in flesh and blood or only in our nightmares, they've carved their place into the human story. And maybe somewhere out there beyond the edge of science and certainty, something scaled still waits, silent, watching, and patient. Because if history has taught us anything, legends don't die, they wait. This has been Nightly Haven, where myths breathe fire. Have a good night, guys. Bye.